Welcome and congratulations on your pregnancy. When you watch this video, probably you're newly pregnant or just in the beginning or even further in your journey. Now, in this video, I'm going to explain to you step by step every step that you can take, every possibility and options that you have, and also a bit a timeline of what to do, when to do it, and how to do it best. Now, if you can download this video, I would say do so. And also you will find a link to a workbook underneath. Now, who am I to actually invite you to this program? Hi, my name is Jutta Wohlrab. I'm an international professional midwife for almost 42 years. I have welcomed 3,000 babies in the world and consulted 10,000 of women just like you. And trust me, I've seen it all. I've worked in all circumstances, from home birth, birth center, water birth, big hospital, small hospital, name it. And because I have all those clients from all over the world, I will give you in this video exactly the same consultation I give all my clients when I meet them first. And that allows them to take better choices, ask better questions, and to understand more what it is that they can do and what it is that they want to do. So join me on this journey, and I can't wait to see you in the first chapter. Chapter 1: Pregnancy like a pro. Now, look, as if you take a trip to unknown country or visit a place you've never been to, it's always great to get informed before you visit the place, as well as sometimes get a guide. Now, your step-by-step plan is important, and I want to tell you why. Because pregnancy is, in a way, a long time, but also a short time. 9 months pass like that. 40 weeks will go very quickly. And when you have a good plan and you know what to do, you have more choices and you can really figure out what it is that you want to do. Now, in this video, I'm going to show you all the different options of different courses you can take, things to do, and when to do them best. And this will allow you to enjoy your pregnancy, have a happy, healthy pregnancy, and really make best out of this amazing time of your life. Because what you don't know yet is that you are on an amazing journey from pregnancy into parenthood. By the way, did you know that giving birth is one of the 5 biggest events a human can experience? And so it is absolutely worthwhile preparing and thinking what it is that you are looking for. Who is going to hold your back and who is actually going to be your dream team? So, of course, when you are pregnant, you usually go and see a doctor. And that could be a GP or could be an OB/YN. Now, it should be a doctor of your choice, someone that listens to all your questions, answers your questions, and truly has an open ear for all the things that you need. Now, depending on in which country you are, this person, this doctor, could come along to the birth or maybe doesn't. So your doctor is going to be most likely the person that will take your bloods, will take your ultrasounds, and will give you something called a mother report card, which can be a blue booklet or a card where all the things that were looked at in your pregnancy, all your examinations, ultrasounds are listed so that in case something happens, everyone can have a look what has been going on, because those things are important. Now, the next person that will be a very important person is the midwife, someone like me. Now, midwives are professional birth experts. Midwives are trained for pregnancy, birth, and the time after. They usually offer a very complex service. So, midwives can do your antenatal care, but in most countries, they can't do your ultrasounds. They can take bloods, they can examine you, they can check your well being, the baby's well being, and they will be your companion at the birth. And there is different types of companionship, and I will explain this in a minute. They will also support you after the birth. Now, depending again in which country you live, the service might be more extensive or not. So let me explain our system, for instance, here in Germany. You can go and see a midwife in your pregnancy, even alongside to your doctor. These things don't usually interfere. You can do models like shared care. Sometimes you see a doctor, and every alternate time you actually go see the midwife. And she can take bloods, examine you, listen to the baby's heartbeat, everything. But midwives offer a much more extensive service. What do I mean with that? Midwives attend your birth, they support you through the birth, they educate you about your pregnancy, the birth, and the time after, and they can help you through this whole transformative process in your life. Midwives are truly a professional uh, support person that can't be replaced, because even that you have a great doctor, your doctor is not going to sit with you for 8, 9, 10, 12 hours, hold your hand, rub your back, and well, encourage you to keep on going. It's the job of the midwife. So, finding a midwife is going to be really vital for your pregnancy. Now, in case you live in a country where you can't find a midwife, because maybe midwives as a profession don't exist, well, then you can always turn to a digital midwife, someone who will support you online, answer all your questions, and really looks exactly into what is going on for you. A doula is a non professional birth support. Doulas don't exist in all countries and only have come into place, well, how can I say, kind of recently. I came across doulas the very first time when I lived and worked in Australia as a professional midwife. And of course, doulas, like everything, have a place in time. Now, doulas can be a great addition to a midwife, can be a great addition to a doctor, and can be super helpful to support you during labor, but also before and afterwards. Doulas are not allowed to attend births in the sense of a midwife, so they can't really do all those hands on things, and they're also not trained to do something for you and your baby when you have an emergency. However, as I said, they are wonderful support. They can really be with you, massage you, offer you drinks, and still, help even your partner to get through this amazing process of giving birth. Often you will find doulas that work together with a midwife, and this can be the most wonderful combination. Everything has a time and place, and every service has a reason to be there. So, last not least, of course, your partner. Now, your partner plays a very different role. Why? Because your partner is not a professional person. Your partner is your partner, but your partner is your birth partner. So, educating yourself together is going to be vital for your partner to understand what her or his job is. We can't do it without partners. And I want to give you a short story to make you understand. My own dad, lovingly called Mr. Testosterone, yeah, well, my dad was born 1929, and I want to tell you why I call him Mr. Testosterone. Because my dad was very strong. He was a soldier in the German army, and he loved riding motorbike races, he loved dancing, he also loved driving car races, and I think he loved my mom. My dad already in 1957 fought his way into the birth room to attend my brother's birth. In 62, my sister's birth, and in 1963, my birth. So, being a man in a time where men actually would just smoke, get pissed, and wait for the announcement of which sex the baby would have, my dad, despite the fact that he was a soldier and a real man, he wanted to attend the birth to help my mother and to support her, hold her hand, put a cold cloth on her forehead, and tell her how much he loved her. And isn't that something very special? So, your partner plays a really important role. And to be a good partner, your partner needs to be educated in the same way as you are. So take your partner on board, because it's called all hands on deck, and we are all in this together.
That as a father, you have lots to do there to be a true support for your wife, and not just to carry a backpack or have notes, but to be there involved. They actually in the course tell you how to involve, how to help, the kind of massages you can give, the kind of words you can tell, like the whole function of the pregnancy, to have a very beautiful, smooth, and nice pregnancy that you usually think it wasn't possible. Now you know it is possible, and you feel more confident into this.
What is going to be the very best birthplace for you? Of course, there's different choices, so let me guide you through what is available. So let's start with number one, the most unlikely one that most people choose, but I still want to introduce to you the topic of home birth. As the word says, you will give birth at home, and here is a few things that you need if you want to do this. First of all, you need a home birth midwife. Secondly, you can only give birth at home from week 37 up to week 42 because normal birth starts at week 37. Everything else is called premature. Thirdly, you have to be up for it. I have to say, home birth is a very safe way of giving birth. Why? Because home birth midwives are very selective. Only happy, healthy women with healthy pregnancies can give birth at home. What is the advantage of giving birth at home? Of course, you are at home. That means for your brain, it's like you're in the most familiar environment that you can think of. Secondly, you have a one-to-one care, which of course in many other options you won't be having. And thirdly, you know your home birth midwife. She's been your main carer for a long time and you already have established a good relationship with her. And fourthly, you don't have to go anywhere. Now, if you think this sounds crazy, Jutta, let me just be clear. There's a country called Holland here in Europe, the country with the highest home birth rate in the whole entire, well, not world, but definitely in Europe. And our whole country believes that it's quite okay to give birth at home, that it's very safe, and it can be done. Look, one more thing. It is a choice for some women, and it can be a really great choice if you're up for a natural birth and you really don't want to go anywhere. Second choice is a birth center. Now, some women say, "Oh, Jutta, but my flat is so small, and my neighbors, I don't want them to hear me." So then a birth center can be a fantastic choice. What is a birth center? Well, just like home birth, it's a midwifery-led unit. Most of the time, it is an independent birth center. Sometimes it's a part of a hospital. Now, birth centers, when I say midwifery-led, usually don't really involve any doctors. Like at the home birth, you can't have any chemical pain management. And usually in birth centers, most of the time, midwives will work in teams. Now, I have worked for a big birth center in Australia, and I can say again, it's a great choice if you're aiming for an undisturbed natural birth. What's the advantage of a birth center? Well, it has midwives working in teams. So, again, you know who is most likely going to be at your birth, which is great because you feel like you know the people you're going to birth with. Secondly, they will offer you choices like a water birth, a natural birth, and of course, you don't have to do anything because everything is there. So, home birth and birth center births natural birth options, and you cannot have any chemical pain management when you choose those options. In some countries, you have to pay a little extra to it, not in all, like in the UK, you don't. And some home birth programs or birth center programs are run out of, well, the hospital system. Depends really where you live. Last not least, the most common way to give birth, the most common way to give birth is, of course, in a hospital. Now, again, when we look at hospitals, we have all kinds of choices: small hospital, medium sized hospital, and a really big hospital. Now, I'm quite clear. 2016, a study was done that showed that smaller hospitals have better outcomes than big hospitals. And let me explain to you why that is. First of all, if you go to a hospital with 5,000 births and you just have a really normal, regular, healthy pregnancy, the question is, do you really need this big setup? Because who are you going to be amongst 5,000 or 4,999 other women? However, every place has a purpose and a reason to be there. And to be clear, you have to find a place that you like, that makes you feel safe, and where you feel like, okay, you have a voice. But I come back to this in a moment. Now, what is a small hospital? A small hospital has maybe 400, 500, 600 births per year. A medium sized hospital has around 1,500 births per year. and everything above that is a big hospital. Let's go from top to bottom. The big hospital will have a major setup, a neonatal unit where premature babies can go, sick babies can go. They have a whole big setup. And for some of us, it's exactly what we are looking for, because some of you will feel, I really want to have all set up there. I want to be sure if I need something, it is available. Now, a medium sized hospital will only cater to women that at least are around 36 weeks plus 4, because again, everything before that is going to be considered a premature birth. A medium sized hospital will offer you everything like the big hospital, just not have a neonatal unit. But when you are a healthy woman and your pregnancy has been going well, it can be fine to go there. When I say medium sized, they will have about 3 to 4 births per day and 2 to 3 midwives looking after all the women that give birth. A small hospital is not so often available because, like in New Zealand, when I lived there was sometimes a small hospital and they can be just fantastic too. It's called a level 1. And same thing, they will probably mainly have midwives on site and 1 or 2 doctors, but all of the hospitals can give you any emergency treatment. They can offer you a C-section if needed. They can have, how can I say, they have support if there is a problem with your baby. All of that. All of that is available when you go to the hospital. Okay, emergency treatments are also available in the birth center and in the birth house, but there is no doctors, where even in the small hospital, usually is 1 or 2 doctors on site. Now, I said to you just earlier that smaller hospitals have a better outcome, but only and only if there is a team working. That's the reason why. And I'll tell you why, because often we know there is a big shortage of professional midwives all over the world. And in the big hospital, sometimes it gets very, very busy. And on top of that, well, giving birth is still a primal act. It's something that happens in your brain. And let me be quite clear one more time. You have to feel comfortable. And smaller hospitals are often just a little bit more personal. Yeah, you might have gone for a booking visit and you meet the same midwife again, and that makes it just a bit more familiar and less scary. However, at the end, anything is going to be your choice. Here is my tip for you. Just a few questions to ask if you go and visit some of the different places. A good question to ask and to find out, is this the right place for me? First of all, always ask how many births per day and how many midwives available. Why is that a good question? Because it will tell you how busy the place is. Say if you have 3 to 4 births per day and you have 2 to 3 midwives on the floor, that is a good ratio. So, one thing. Next thing to ask is, how high is the C section rate? And why is this important? Now, in a time where we have 30 to 80% of a C section rate globally, where WHO will tell you we should only have 11 to 15%, it will make a difference. Why? Not because I'm against the C section, it is just a way to make sure that you will have many, many choices. So, finding out if this hospital will offer you many choices, this question is going to be vital. So, how high is the C section rate? Is the C section rate high, like 40, 50%? Most likely, they are not very supportive in giving you a lot of choices. Then you can also ask a question, for instance, how high is the rate of water birth? Even at this point, you might not maybe know what that is, but if you live in a country with water birth, that is a good question to ask. Why? Again, it will show you how attentive they are and how open and supportive they are for different ways of giving birth. Now, all of those questions will be helpful. And when you go, for instance, for an information evening, well, if this hospital has one, the birth center will have one, the home birth midwife will talk to you, then asking those questions will give you a much better feeling for the place. Last but not least, you have to like the place and the feeling of the place. If ever you get to a place where you feel like, You feel like people don't attend to you, they don't talk to you, they're not interested in what it is that you are looking for, then I would say, if you can, find yourself another place. We can only give birth once, and it's such an important moment in time. So you have to find a good place for you. Now, last at least, one advice: if you live in a country where there is no choice, where you must go to this hospital, then I will share with you later how you can make friends in a place where you yet don't have friends, and to get your wishes turned into a reality. Okay? I hope you enjoyed this chapter. Well, see you in the next chapter. Eat, move, glow, fitness, food, all those things in your pregnancy. Well, an avocado, a tomato, a lemon per day. Keep the doctor away. Ah, yes, it was an apple, just to remind ourselves. So, let's talk about food, baby. Why? Because food is, well, food is medicine. Food is something you put into your system every day. Now, first things first. Let's talk about the things that you are not supposed to have. Of course, there is a zero alcohol policy. Okay, if you had a drink and you didn't know you were pregnant, let it go. But the moment you know you're pregnant, you should not have not one small sip of alcohol. Why? Because babies actually cannot exchange alcohol in their body. Their liver is very small, and who wants to have a drunken baby resting in the womb? Certainly nobody. What else are you not allowed to eat? Because that's a question everyone asked me. Jutta, what am I not allowed to eat? No raw fish, no raw eggs, no raw meat, no salami, no ham that hasn't been cooked. All those things are no, no, no. Why? Because these things could have salmonella, listeriosis, all kinds of different things that could really harm your lovely baby inside. And so, sorry, no sushi until you've given birth. Now, coming to the things that you should eat. Somewhere over the fruit and veggie rainbow. This is where you are supposed to be. Why is that? First of all, in the pregnancy, your body is going to use up more nutrition, or minerals, more iron, because now someone inside is growing and wants to have it all. But you do not eat for two people, okay? When people say eat for two, I say no, eat for one, but just eat really healthy. So, what do I mean with that? First of all, well, let me be quite clear. I've been a vegetarian for 48 years. I'm vegan. You don't have to. But there is a few things to say when it comes to pregnancy. People will tell you you have to eat fatty fish because your brain needs 20 to 40 grams of healthy omega 3 and 6 for your brain and the baby's brain. Let me point out a problem. A problem with fish that comes out of the ocean is it's full with heavy metals like mercury, lead. If it is coming from a fish farming, well, then it might not have microplastic as the one from the ocean, but it will have growth hormones, antibiotics, and pesticides. None of that sounds really, for me, none of it sounds exciting or healthy. It's the same when you think about conventional meat. It's the same the way animals are kept. You know, all of it is full of growth hormones, antibiotics, pesticides, and a lot of stuff that probably you don't want to eat and you shouldn't eat. Here's the thing: if you want to eat fish or meat, you have to make sure it comes from a high quality source, and it's going to cost you quite a fair bit of money. And that, of course, all of it is always going to be your choice. However, when we look into the vegetables and the fruit, there is a lot of things that you can eat and that will actually help your nutrition and also your minerals to be up to date. So when I say eat around the rainbow, I really mean it. Your diet should be something of each color. Every day you should have something like chickpeas, lentils, tofu. You want to have good sources of protein. All of these are very affordable. Oats are a great source of protein. If you're vegetarian, eggs are a great source of protein. All of that. And then you want to have a big variety of different things. Cabbage is great because, of course, it is important for your gut health, for your microbiome. So there's a whole range of those things. Having a good, well balanced diet is going to give you a healthy body. It will give you a good weight, not to be overweight, but to be in a healthy weight. It will help you to feel more energized, and it will help you to take less supplements because when your diet is well balanced, you can keep all those things up and running. Now, one more thing just to say, iron is really important in your pregnancy. Why? Because iron are the little red trucks that take oxygen, nutrition from cell to cell, from organ to organ, from muscle to muscle in each place of your body and your baby's body. That's why your hemoglobin, your red iron blood count is done at your doctor's. So there is certain foods that will help you to keep your iron up and running. For instance, everything that is dark green, everything that is dark red. So lentils are fantastic, all types of lentils. Oats are fantastic because they're all rich in iron. And sugar molasses, very inexpensive, can be a great addition, well, to keep your iron levels up. So, one more thing to say, nuts, seeds, really fantastic. All oils like olive oil, linseed oil, all of those are great too. So, we can speak hours just about food, but this is just the first tip. So, please have a good look in what you eat because you are what you eat, and your food can help your baby and your body to stay happy and healthy. Next thing, next pit stop. Bum, ba-dum, bum, ba-dum. Exercise in your pregnancy. Now, your body is amazing, and you are amazing. And in some cultures, you are told just to lie on the couch. But look, no, don't just lie on the couch. In the beginning, if you don't feel well, say if you have nausea at the beginning, of course you're going to rest. But once you are up and feeling better, which should be around week 12, 14, then you should really think, hey, what can I do? Giving birth is a physical event. You need your body to be in good shape. And one more thing, when you exercise, you feel more happy because your brain is going to release dopamine and endorphins. Yay! They're such cool hormones that make you feel good. You will sleep better and you will have less problems like backaches, swollen legs, and all the things that most moms to be are going to experience. Plus, when you know the correct exercise, you can even help your baby be well aligned in the pelvis, which then later on, in the later weeks, is going to be so helpful for the birth of your baby. But first things first, a question that moms ask me is kind of, Jutta, what kind of exercises can I do? Well, it's going to be a bit up to what kind of things you favor. For instance, if you are a dancer, well, keep on dancing. If you are a runner, well, then I have to say I'm honest. Heavy running is not possible because at one stage, just because you go bomb, 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 is going to put a lot of pressure on your pelvic floor. But of course, jogging and firm walking, no worries. I'm a big fan of yoga, of course. I've been doing yoga for a long time, but I like a dynamic, energetic, and relaxing style of yoga. So that might be worth trying for you. Maybe that is a good style of exercise for you because you will stretch the fascia, you will strengthen your body, and you do a lot of breathing. However, Pilates, gymnastics, anything is great. Everything is better than just resting on the couch. Swimming, for instance, absolutely fabulous. Why? Because swimming is great. Because when you swim, you have less body weight and it will help you to have a better microcirculation, which can be great. And it's just wonderful to float in the ocean, in a lake, or even just in a swimming pool. So have a look around, see, can you find a pregnancy yoga class, a Pilates class, a gymnastic class, a dance class, a swim class, anything you want. And here for the ones that are super sportive. Yeah. If you've been exercising for a long time, of course, you can keep on going with the type of exercise that you have been doing for many years. Yes, you can do a bit of weight training, absolutely no problem. But one thing I would always advise all of you, No matter what you do, it's great to find a pregnancy class. Why? Because you're going to connect with other women with bellies. You probably should find something in the class that is directly talking to you and your pregnancy. And you find a teacher that hopefully, just like me, has a lot of experience. Because, for instance, I've been teaching pregnancy yoga for over 20 years. And so you want to find someone that understands if you have a problem, how to solve this problem for you. Well, stay fit, eat the right thing, and then you will see you glow just like a beautiful rose. And that's it. So, hope you enjoyed this talk about food and exercise, and then see you in the next chapter. Zen Mama, how to stay calm, confident, and ready for anything. Now, first of all, a question that I would like to ask you, and you can scribble down the answer. What is your inner strategy when it comes to moments in time where you feel stressed, where you feel anxious, or kind of even lost? What is your inner strategy to calm yourself? Now, let me explain a few things. Fear is something that mainly happens in our head. And fear is, in fact, not a good advisor because fear will make you do all kind of crazy stuff. When I say fear is something in our head, I really mean it's in your head. Because most women nowadays, when I ask them, how do you feel about the upcoming birth? They tell me, oh, I'm fearful about pain. I'm fearful about something could happen. I have a fear of I don't know of what, but I have fear. And fear, of course, is also introduced for all the videos you've seen from the fact that you might not really know much about giving birth, maybe stories that someone told you. But let me point out these are things, part of it is social media. There's an information overload, but actually not much wisdom. Then the stories that people tell you, well, people like negative stories. And of course, this is only one part of the reality. So fear was installed in our brain to help us run away in times of great danger. So, one thing I can guarantee is there's very simple strategies that you can learn and practice in everyday life to keep yourself calm and confident. Now, I believe everyone was born with a seed of confidence, but with the time, of course, sometimes confidence disappears. But you have to ask yourself, what are the things in your life that have you done well already? What are a few things that you're really good at? Most people don't have much strength when I listen to their inner dialogue. So please, can I say, if you tell yourself something, at least tell yourself a better lie. But here are some practical strategies. Okay? I want to give you a real practical strategy. So when you are fearful, doubtful, there's always a few things. Let's talk about some things that will be really helpful for anyone. Breathing exercises. Why? Because breathing is something that corresponds directly with part of the brain. It's called the amygdala, the almond, the fire alarm in your brain. When the brain goes off because the brain thinks, something is wrong here or I'm in danger, then breathing, very simple deep breathing techniques will help your amygdala to calm yourself down. Second strategy is, of course, you learn relaxation techniques, whether it's deep relaxation, self hypnosis, hypnobirthing, mindfulness, all of it. All of that in combination with breathing is really fantastic. And that's something everyone can learn. Next thing is anytime where you feel like, God, I'm so scared, I'm anxious, you could really hold up a stop sign in your brain and say, stop, in the name of love. And you could think right the opposite. This is a very simple technique that I teach to all my moms, and it works very well. Of course, there's more to that, because if you have a lot of doubt, worries, and fears, and you feel like fear is eating you up, it's really good to think about taking a course where you learn how to let go of unwanted doubts, worries, and fears.
I feel way less anxious. A lot of the fears that I had before have completely melted away. Not only just from the amount of information that I have now, but information about things that my own body will do to support me in the birth. And not to mention having a great guide to talk about all of it.
Now, let me be quite clear. Sometimes our fear is really good because it was there to help us. If someone would hold a knife to your throat, it's good to be fearful, of course. If there's an earthquake, it's good to be fearful because then you want to run away. But in most of our lives, especially in this part of the world, we have fear, and fear is often just the fear of the unknown. So let's just wrap it up. How can you stay calm, confident, and ready for anything? One thing is good breathing techniques. Breathing really corresponds directly with your brain. And breathing, the most simple one is inhale to the count of 4, hold your breath for 4, open your lips, exhale to the count of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's the most simple technique that you can do. Second thing is go visit and learn a technique like self relaxation, self hypnosis, hypnobirthing, all of those things. Because there's an old saying, the map is not the territory. It's not always just as it looks like, it's sometimes just what you think it looks like. Thirdly, when you have a fear, something coming up, calm yourself down with breathing, hold up a stop sign in your brain and think right the opposite. Never think you can't do it. There is much more that you can. And so, this is one way of learning how to stay calm, confident, and ready for everything. Knowledge is power, know how is empowerment. Learning how birth works, understanding everything that is going on that happens to your body, to your baby, understanding this whole process, how your brain works, how your hormone works, things that you can do, things your partner can do, things how you can manage, for instance, pain, because that's one of the common fears. All of that is possible. And all of that is something that, for instance, I have been teaching for many years in my courses. So you're not alone and you're not the only one that has those fears. So never think, oh, it's only me. It's many. But the thing is, fear is in your head. And because it's in your head, when you understand how it works, when you learn how all the things that you can do, your partner can do, well, then you will see fear is going to melt just like an ice block in the sunshine. Isn't that a good thing? Because you want to step up. And look, one more thing, I don't know you, but here's my opinion about you. I said everyone was born with a seed of confidence. All of you, no matter who is watching, has confidence. Confidence is already the fact that you decided to become a mom or a dad. It shows you must have some confidence, thinking, hey, there's something in me, I can do it. Secondly, if you go to work every day, that's confidence. If you cook a meal for your friends, even that you're not a five-star chef, and you believe your friends will enjoy an evening with you, that's also confidence. So there is many ways how we can actually let your confidence grow, let your anxieties, doubts, and worries minimize and melt down. And well, I hope that this chapter helped you to understand more. Last not least, you can always write down all your fears, and you can write down on the other side of the paper all the things that you could hold against it. Yeah? So stop the negative talk, let go of your fears, and I know that you can be confident about yourself, your bodily skills, and about whoever you are in the world. Your best classes to prepare yourself, yay, for the upcoming birth, ah, and to crush it. So let's get started because, there's a lot of different classes that you might find, and you might think which class to take and when to take it. Let's start very simple. Okay. First thing is the basic, and the basic is a birthing class, an antenatal course, a prenatal course, a birth class, whichever name you want to give it. This class usually is something that is around somewhere between 12, 14, 15 hours. It happens either weekly for a few hours or is on a weekend course. That's going to be your preference. Now, what should you learn in this class? You should learn all the basics like what makes labor happening, your hormones, your brain. You should learn something about good breathing. You should learn how babies actually spiral through the pelvis and how they're born. So you have an understanding how the whole mechanism, birth mechanism works. Your partner should be part of that. He should learn how to massage you, how to support you. You should learn simple things like what is a contraction, when to go to hospital, who to call, and also what are emergencies. In this class, you should learn birth positions, but you should also get answers to all your questions. What kind of pain management is available from natural to conventional? What kind of birthing is available? Water birth, birth stool, upright birth, or even with an epidural. What else? Well, what is a tear? How can you avoid it? So, all of that, really, what happens at the birth, should be implemented in that class. Now, let me be clear. A lot of people find birthing classes really boring. That's what my clients have been telling me. But of course, I have to say, no, they don't find my classes boring, because that's why I received so many, over 405 stars. But I'm also clear. Do your research. Ask your friends, look around, and think there is even people like me that teach online, people all over the world. It is the one class that should get you really excited, okay? It should never be a boring class. It should get you excited. It should install confidence and positive feelings and knowledge what to do, how to do it, and when to do it. Not only what you have to do, but also your partner. This is the power of a good birth class. Well, when do you take it? Sometime between week 27 and then whatever, 33, 34, 35, 36. You can also take it later, but early bird catches the worm and will give you a lot of time to get yourselves ready. What else is available? Hypnobirthing, of course. Hypnobirthing has been around since the 80s. This is purely a preparation for your mindset. I love hypnobirthing. I've worked with hypnosis as a professional hypnotherapist since 2005, and I cannot emphasize how wonderful it is to learn self hypnosis, breathing, relaxation quickies, things how you with hypnosis minimize pain, let go of your unwanted doubts, worries, and fears, and how to calm yourself and stay focused. This is a lifelong skill. Of course, some people say, BS, Jutta, but of course, one head never fits all. I love hypnosis, I love the power of the mind, and I've seen it over and over again. It is a great combination to a birth class. By the way, in my birth class, there's a little bit of hypno in it. Couldn't help it, right? But back to you. So, hypnobirthing is something you can take anytime, from the first weeks of your pregnancy, even until the very end. But if you really ask me, if you could take it earlier, do it. It's great to take it already at week, My earliest client took it at 8 weeks because she was so scared. But I would say 16 weeks, 15 weeks, 18 weeks, 19, 20. That's great. And hypnobirthing is often taught over a period of weeks. It's usually, again, something like somewhere between 10 and 15 hours. When you teach it online, like I do it, people get the recording and they can listen to it over and over and over again. Train your brain is here the message. And can I say, change in the brain comes in three ways. Sometimes change comes unexpectedly. You take an exercise for the mindset, and suddenly things have gone. The other thing is repetition is the master. As you tell yourself a lot of things every day, you train your brain for a better conversation and to install a different belief. And thirdly, is the change of things with a certain system put in place that you do yourself again over and over again. So, hypnobirthing, great method, and of course, something that is really worth thinking of. Then the next method that you find that is very big at the moment is called spinning babies. And spinning babies is something where we purely and really purely just talk about how to create more space and room inside the pelvis. Now, spinning babies is a combination of physical exercises that you do to allow the baby to be in a better alignment, because, of course, when the baby is not well aligned, it cannot be born, or the birth is going to be slow, very painful, and things like this. So, in spinning babies, again, you can do a one-day course, over a few hours where your partner learns a couple of exercises that he can do on you, but also there's many exercises that you can do yourself. Now, I'm a spinning babies parent educator, and for instance, I have implemented some of it, the most important things, already into my birth class. So have a good look around, see what's available. It will depend a bit on your own budget, what you can afford, but it's worth spending some money on your education, because let me really be quite clear. Knowledge is power, know-how is empowerment. It will ease the fear of giving birth, and to learn techniques that allow you to calm yourself down, stay focused, and to understand the process. Wow, isn't that worth spending some money, time, and energy on? Partner and how he can be the ultimate support partner. There's a song, it's called We Are All in This Together. And this is what this topic is about. Now, I want to show you a beautiful book that I have. I want you to show you this picture. And I really wanted to show you this because when it comes to giving birth, of course, you are the one giving birth. But isn't it sometimes when you walk with someone, it becomes so much more easy? Now, in some of the cultures that I came across, like for instance in India, partners are usually not allowed in the birth room. However, birth starts a long time before you give birth. Okay, the day of giving birth is just one part of it, but for me, it starts in the beginning, already in your pregnancy. Now, it was these two people that made the baby, and I think these two people should become a real birth team. What do I mean with that? Just because you're a great team in life doesn't mean you are necessarily a great birthing team. Just as if you have a new project at work, you need to discuss about it, give feedback, put some thoughts to it, and practice together. There should be no questions about it on the day. And this is how you do it. Now, your partner is not pregnant. He or she can't feel the baby move, has got all the physical changes like boobs getting bigger, belly getting bigger, all of that. No. So, this person, until you feel the baby move from around, say, week 18 to 22, and he or she can place the hands on your belly and feel a little kick, it feels kind of unreal. I have to say, this is my experience. Now, sometimes women say, well, it's a woman's business. Yes, it truly is. But in the modern world, especially the world where I come from, men have been attending births since the 70s. Now, earlier, I told you the story of my dad, Mr. Testosterone, and I have to say, partners at the birth are fantastic. Why? Emotionally, this person is the closest person to you. It's not the midwife, not your doctor, but this person has to be well prepared. Why? If you think you take an advanced tango class and your partner's dancing hip hop, it's going to be very complicated to win a dance performance on the day. And your partner is probably just as fearful or doubtful or confused as you. So sometimes the focus only goes to the woman, and sometimes partners feel a bit left out. So here's my advice. As I said, you have to form a strong team. If you have never been canoeing together or sitting on a tandem bicycle or playing a double in tennis, yeah, then like you have to really practice and get onto it so that on the day there is no fighting about no, don't do this or yes, do that. So here is the plan. First of all, you must take a birth class together, or you should take a birth class together. Why? It is fun to get ready together as a couple and to also look into parenthood together. And then when you take a class fairly early, it will give you and your partner a great amount of time to practice massages, breathing techniques, to create something like a mind map. Yeah? Writing down all the things that you are both looking forward to also prepare, well, the arrival of your baby, which is going to be hopefully a celebration, as it should be. Practice makes the master. Okay, you can't expect your partner to just do things because you say so on the day of the birth. And ladies, babies, gents, and all partners. Isn't it a great thing to strengthen your team in the pregnancy to then, when you're parents, know that you have a strong foundation? Couple of simple things. Don't laugh, because there's real studies behind it. For instance, a study has shown when couples hold hands, their relationships last longer. Now, when you practice massaging, breathing, when you make a plan, then you know it's great to receive, but it's also great to give something back. So on the day, there should be no question more about what massage is, how to do it right. But the thing is, sometimes you see something, it looks really simple, but when you do it, it suddenly becomes really complicated. So, women, when your partner is giving you a massage and you're not happy with the massage, don't say, no, I don't like it. Just say, one moment, turn around, let me show you what I want. And then you do it on your partner. The topic is T for two and two to tango. Yeah, and give your partner a chance to grow into his or her role and to become a real part of this amazing journey. And ask the person, would you like to come along for an ultrasound? How would you like to be part? And also, what is your perspective on giving birth? Because it's very important that the both of you are on the same level, because if one of you has more fear than the other, it will always interfere with the birthing process. I hope I gave you some good tips. Hold more hands, and you know there's an old saying, hugs before drugs. So when you are a really good team, well prepared, you're going to look forward to the day of giving birth. And there is no discussion, but you said this or you said that, and now you're doing this. Yeah, like as if you prepare a big hike to the mountains and you want to strengthen your birth team. So have fun while doing it, and I'll see you in the next chapter. There's an old saying, man/woman plans, God laughs, and navigating the unexpected. Now, I talked a little bit about the unexpected earlier, but I'm talking about the real unexpected because, you know, hardly anyone expects, for instance, that there is something wrong with the baby, that there's big complications during labor, or whatever is going on. Now, again, I want to bring it back because I really don't want to scare you. Giving birth is the second oldest process on the planet. I think it has worked well because the planet is really full with lots of people. Healthy women usually birth healthy babies. However, there's only three reasons why there is a problem at the birth. One is exactly what I just mentioned, a medical reason, could be anything. High blood pressure, heavy diabetes, um, something going wrong with the baby. So this is the smallest group, but I will attend to this one. The second reason why we can't be born or we have problems is because we get stuck on the way. Somehow we are not well aligned and can't spiral through as easily. And the third thing is something on your mind, because when the fight and flight reflex is triggered, and I will explain this in a minute, then birth will slow down or might not happen at all. But first of all, the unexpected. As the word implements, unexpected. So unexpected means it's nothing that you really prepare for. And in 2015, I took a trip to Nepal. I love traveling. I've traveled all over the world. And on the 21st of April, around lunchtime, when I was just ready with my partner at the time to settle our bike and to take a trip to Mustang, Nepal got hit by the biggest earthquake ever. 90 seconds changed everything. Yeah, not 90 minutes, not 9 minutes, truly 90 seconds. 90 seconds full of destruction. And after that, life was never the same again. So when I talk about the unexpected, all I can say is what you could practice is staying focused, relaxation quickies, breathing exercises, because that will help you in case something unexpected happens to stay more calm. Sorry. And I will give you a story to explain that. All right. I want to give you an example. So one day when I worked in the birth center in Australia, a couple came in. The woman was sitting in the bathtub, all was great. I thought, oh yeah, okay, great, we're going to have a water birth. Now, I was at this point already a very experienced midwife, so I've seen it, done it, and here we are. But when I listened to the baby's heart rate, the heart rate didn't sound as it should. So I tried everything to improve the situation, but the situation, in fact, did not improve. So I had to transfer the woman with the partner to labor ward because this was something that was definitely not suitable for the birth center. Now, when we went over to labor ward with special circumstances, of course, the woman got a line in her arm, she was put on a monitor, the doctor came, all the things you really want when you need some extra special help, because clearly something was not right here. So, as the time went by, I stayed with the woman, I helped along, I was breathing with her. I said to her at one stage, if this is going to take much, much longer and there is little progress, I'm afraid I'm very optimistic, but I'm also realistic. This might end up in a C-section, in a surgery. Anyway, we did a test on the baby because things were kind of so slow and the baby was reacting so strongly, and it showed this baby is very much in distress and really needs to be born. So off we went to theater, the baby came out, and the baby very unexpectedly had double the length of an umbilical cord. Now, I've seen this twice in my whole career of 42 years and so many babies. And the baby was kind of tangled up like a Christmas parcel and could have never ever been born. The baby was all doing fine, crying, being pink, and everyone was happy. When I walked out, the student that was working with me at the time said to me, "Wow, Jutta." I said, "What is wow?" And she said, "Well, wow is every time you were breathing with the woman, when the heart rate went down, the heart rate came up a little faster." Now, I tell you the story because I want to share with you. When there are special circumstances, when there's a true crisis happening, something unexpected, you can't solve this problem. This is the job of the midwife, the doctor, the team who is with you on that day. But here is something you can do, and that is of great importance. You and your partner, you can brief yourself in a calm state of mind, because the calmer you are, the better you can work along with all the things, whatever it is that the team is going to ask you to do, whether it is change position, go to theater, or anything. And that applies for every part of your pregnancy, your birth, and even the time after. So please practice something, because on the day you won't have time to learn. Again, these are true skills that will help you to deal with the unexpected. Now, people say, "Can you prepare me for the unexpected?" Well, can I prepare you? All I can say is I can teach you methods that allow you to calm yourself down quickly. Think, what is true resilience? True resilience doesn't mean that you're never upset or you never feel stressed out, because that's a big fat lie. Because everyone will have stress, anxieties, something happening. But when you have good skills that are almost like an automatism that kick in whenever something happens, that will allow you to bounce back and to keep a clear mind, stay focused, and work along. And this is how you deal with the unexpected. How about that? The womb, the very first classroom of our life. So let's talk about the baby, because we spend so much time talking about you, all the different options, places, courses, strategies, so many things. But let's talk a little bit about the baby. So, first of all, the womb truly is our very first classroom, and there is so many things we learn when we are inside our mom's belly. But here's the first question, and that truly is a spiritual question. I don't know when the I am arrives in your baby. That is an unknown question. That's a question you truly have to answer for yourself. Some people will say, well, this happens before the baby is born, before conception, at conception, in the first few weeks. Well, I leave this up to you, and I will happily receive some answers in the chat. What is your thought about that? But let's be quite clear. Babies inside the womb in week 5 already wriggle around, move their little arms, stick their tongue out, not because they can taste something, just because they want to feel, where am I? At week 7, the little heart starts beating. Our hearing already starts at week 12. Hearing is accomplished at week 20. Can you imagine? That is crazy. Everything you do in your pregnancy has an impact on your baby's development of its brain, its body, on everything. So, whatever you say, whatever you do, singing, humming, having conversations, laughing out loud, all of that has an effect on our baby inside. Well, our taste buds are developed in the last third of our pregnancy. So, whatever moms eat in the last third of the pregnancy has an impact on what kind of flavors the baby likes, at least in the first couple of years. But there's more to say. When I say the womb is a classroom, when you attend to the baby, and you feel good, when you and your partner have a lovely time, when your partner, he or she, places the hands on the belly, sings a song, reads a story, talks to the belly, touches the belly, you do it. When you talk to the baby knows very well that mom is talking to it. Well, I say it because we don't know, is it boy or girl? And in all the studies that I found about life in the womb, it really says clearly, however you feel will make a big difference. Say, if you have a lot of stress and you're constantly under, high levels of stress, the baby will think life is just stressful. When you know how to deeply relax, when you feel good, when you have happy thoughts, when you send a lot of happy hormones through the umbilical cord to the baby, this is what your baby learns. Now, it doesn't always have to be Mozart, but music is good, talking is good, singing is good. A baby cannot learn a language inside the womb. This part of the brain is yet not developed and only develops after the birth. But the baby will always recognize rhythm and sound. So it also knows who are the people that actually give moms great positive feelings, who make her laugh and feel good, and who maybe do right the opposite. So, everything you do in your pregnancy, from what you say, how you feel, what you think, what you eat, whether you dance and do yoga, all of it will have an impact what happens in your baby's brain and body. So please take a bit of time as a woman with your partner to really consciously attend to your baby. Babies are so smart. I think most people have such little idea. Whatever they do in the womb, they will also later on do outside. Last not least, to finish this chapter, because I know it was already a long video with me. When I say babies are smart, there is a study done by a German anthropologist, and she found out that babies already after the birth will try to adjust, or not try, they actually adjust their crying to the tonation of our language. Babies are not only smart inside the womb, they want to communicate with you straight away after they are born. And one part of it is that they look at you, they copy you, but also the tonation of their crying. Now, Japanese babies cry in the tonation of Japanese, whereas American babies cry in the sound of the American language. In that study, they also found out that American babies, when they were listening to Swedish people talking, were sucking really hard on their thumbs because the sound of and and up is something that does not exist in English. So I really wanted to point out that babies are real beings. They have feelings, they have emotions, they live inside the womb. They don't know what's coming next, but they are like you on an amazing journey into the most amazing adventure of life. And this is the journey that all of you together are on. So, what can I say? Tend to your baby, talk, sing, read a story, place the hands, and carry your baby with love, birth your baby with love, and welcome it with loving hands. Now we are literally almost at the end, not quite yet, one short chapters to follow. But, well, I hope you enjoyed this part just as much as I do. Okay, from bump to baby. Now we've been already on a journey from the beginning of your pregnancy, finding the right place, finding the right course, understanding about what exercise and food, all of that has to do. And of course, now you might say, but Jutta, what happens after the birth? Well, let me say a lot of things. But first of all, you need to have a really happy, healthful, cheerful, fantastic pregnancy despite all the things that could happen, which is, all the things that I haven't named in this video because, okay, you already spent a lot of time with me. Now, you might wonder about all those other things. And here's the thing. I'm already planning on the next video and the next video. So whatever you think would be something that you would love to hear about, something you feel like, oh, Jutta, you missed out on that. Well, why don't you let me know in the chat what it is that you are looking for? And I would truly answer that. Now, last not least, as I said earlier in this program, there are so many more things to talk about. And I hope you understood how amazing the journey is that you are on, and that there is a million things to think and learn about and to talk about. But this was really, truly just your roadmap on the first steps that you have to take. There's a number of things that still would be helpful, like, whether it's massage, whether it's acupuncture, whether it is herbs, homeopathy, and lots and lots and lots and lots more things. But I'll keep this for the next video. And with that, all I can say is I hope you have a wonderful pregnancy. I really wish and hope that this video helped you to find the roadmap. So please stay tuned. Let me know what else you like to know. And subscribe to my channel because there's lots more to come. And well, click on the link for the workbook. Click on the link that offers you some templates about your food and other things. And well, I hope I'll see you very soon in another video. So enjoy this special time of your life and let me know what it is you're looking for, and see you very, very soon.